While many Gamecock fans are still recovering from an exciting homecoming weekend, South Carolina athletics have been hard at work. College basketball is finally back as the men's team took on North Alabama last Wednesday. Capital City sports reporter Cassidy Shepard was at Colonial Life Arena for opening night.
Thanks, Selena. I'm here in Colonial Life Arena where the Gamecocks kicked off their season opener against the North Alabama Lions. Both Jermaine Cusnard and Jair Bolden found baskets early in their Gamecock debuts. Bolden, the transfer from George Washington, would play well for the Gamecocks, totaling 14 for the night. 15 of North Alabama's points came from the free throw line, with C.J. Brim keeping the Lions on pace with the Gamecocks with 6 points in the first half. The Gamecocks then surged, capped off by a Justin Minaya jump shot. The Lions wouldn't go away without a fight, but would still be down by 10 at the end of the first half. In the second half, North Alabama came out of the locker room strong. Minaya continued to roll with 7 points in the second half. Trey Hannibal would find a rhythm that gave the Gamecocks the energy they needed to seal the deal. They finished the night with a win, 77-55 over the Lions. Justin Minaya kicked off the season with 17 points and 11 rebounds. The Gamecocks hope to continue this momentum throughout the season. For Capital City Sports, I'm Cassidy Shepard. Back to you, Selena.
Thanks, Cassidy. The Gamecock football team has had a lot at stake this weekend as they still need 2 wins to gain bowl eligibility. Dylan Leatherwood was at Williams-Brice as South Carolina took on Appalachian State.
Thanks, Selena. On a cold Saturday night in Columbia, the South Carolina Gamecocks, just coming off a much-needed victory against the Vanderbilt Commodores, took on the Appalachian State Mountaineers. The Mountaineers just got kicked out of the top 25 and were looking to prove that their season isn't a fluke and that they're among the country's best. Through a feisty attitude, the Mountaineers beat the Gamecocks on senior night.
It was senior night for the Gamecocks, so seniors like Keel Pollard and Javon Kinlaw were honored before the game. Also, it was Military Appreciation Night, so veterans on the field and off the field were all recognized. Out the gates, Ryan Helinski finds Brian Edwards in the middle of the field for an 11-yard gain. The Gamecocks offense scraped up enough yards on the drive to set up a 41-yard Parker White field goal. White was 3 for 3 on the night. Then after the field goal, the Mountaineers responded right back. Darrington Evans runs a kickoff back for 41 yards, setting up good field position and eventually a 41-yard field goal from Chandler Staton. Next possession, Helinski connects with Trey Atkins for 29 yards. Parker White caps off the drive with another field goal. The Mountaineers would make it back to Carolina's side of the field, but they were unable to capitalize on the good field position. Jamie Robinson disrupts the play, and the Mountaineers would have to settle for another field goal, this one from 47 yards. Tied game late in the second quarter, the Gamecocks were looking to make something happen, but Helinski's pass gets tipped around and lands into the hands of Nicholas Ross, who would run it back for a 20-yard touchdown. Games like this not only show the value of special teams, but also the value of an underdog team playing with a chip on their shoulder. After the half, Ernest Jones tips a Zach Thomas pass to himself for an interception, his second of the season, which set up a 50-yard field goal from Parker White. More great special teams from App State, this time coming from Jalen Virgil, whose 57-yard return would help set up a 1-yard touchdown later in the drive from Zach Thomas, making it a 2-possession game in App State's favor. Helinski and the offense would dip into App State's lead with this 23-yard touchdown pass to Brian Edwards. Edwards became South Carolina's all-time leader in receiving yards this game. It all came down to this play. As time expired, Helinski overthrows a stretched-out Brian Edwards to end the game. Final score, 20-15.
After 2 straight home games, the Gamecocks will take a break from Williams-Brice Stadium when they travel to Kyle Field to take on the 6-3 Texas A&M Aggies. The Aggies will be coming off a bye week. One more note about the Gamecocks, they will have to win out the rest of the season to become bowl eligible. Back to you in the studio, Selena.
Thanks, Dylan. Cade Crenshaw was at Colonial Life Arena as the men's basketball team wrapped up opening weekend versus Wyoming. Cade?
Thanks, Selena. The Gamecock men's basketball team and Frank Martin avenged a big loss they had last season on the road to the Wyoming Cowboys today inside Colonial Life Arena with a 66-32 victory.
Sophomore guard A.J. Lawson took control of the game from the opening tip, scoring 8 of the Gamecocks' first 13 points. Lawson tied for a team-high 12 points and added 4 rebounds and 3 steals. Jermaine Couisnard also finished with 12 points in the 34-point Gamecock victory. South Carolina had a very balanced offensive attack with 11 players scoring a bucket and 4 players reaching double figures. Redshirt junior guard Jair Bolton had the hot hand from three-point range, sinking 3 shots from beyond the arc. Although the Cowboys battled tough throughout the game, the Gamecocks' defensive play was ultimately too tough for them to overcome. Frank Martin's squad combined for 5 blocks and 9 steals, with Trey Hannibal bringing the fans to their feet with an electrifying breakaway slam dunk.
Coach Frank Martin and his staff will depend on this team's hot outside shooting and suffocating defense to continue their winning ways the rest of the season. The next opportunity for the Gamecocks to pick up a win will be this Friday against Cleveland State here in Colonial Life Arena. For Capital City Sports, I'm Cade Crenshaw. Back to you, Selena.
Thanks for that, Cade. We couldn't get to everything this week. Capital City Sports reporter Lauren Waters is here to bring you up to speed on everything we missed.
Thanks, Selena. Like she said, my name is Lauren Waters, and I'm here to bring you up to date on everything Gamecock Athletics that we were not able to get to. Let's start things off with women's basketball. The 8th-ranked Gamecocks had their season opener at home on Tuesday against Alabama State, and they had a dominant victory of 103-43. Freshman Aaliyah Boston led the Gamecocks with a triple-double, scoring 12 points with 12 rebounds and 10 blocks. On Sunday, the basketball team traveled to Maryland and played the 4th-ranked Terrapins and beat them 63-54. Aaliyah Boston continued her strong play and led the team in points with 14. The volleyball team continued their winning ways this past weekend. They traveled to Starkville to play Mississippi State. They would go on a sweep to beat the Bulldogs 3-0. On Sunday, the volleyball team made their way down to Oxford to play the Ole Miss Rebels. South Carolina would earn their 2nd victory and sweep of the weekend. This makes 5 straight sweeps for the Gamecocks, the first in program history. South Carolina has not lost a set since October 16th. Lastly, the women's soccer team won the 2019 SEC Championship Tournament with a 1-0 victory over Arkansas. This is the 2nd championship title in program history. The team did not give up a single goal the entire tournament. Now they wait to see where they will be ranked in the NCAA tournament starting this Friday. That's everything I got for you, Selena. Back to you.
Thanks, Lauren. That's all we have for you this week on Capital City Sports. Tune in next week for all things Gamecock Athletics. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV. For Capital City Sports, I'm Selena Tynes. Have a great week, Carolina.